What if I told you for decades, Dallas has been legally forcing developers to build more parking than many places actually need, and that those rules have been driving up housing costs, limiting small business, and hurting walkability? Well, that's finally starting to change. Dallas just passed one of the most significant parking reforms in city history, and I've got a lot to say about it. I'm Adam. This is 15 Minute Dallas. Let's get into it. On May 14th, 2025, Dallas City Council voted to approve its off-street parking and loading code amendment, ending a 50-year era of rigid parking mandates. These new rules mandate how we approach parking, especially in how they impact housing, small business, and access to public transit. Here's some of the biggest changes. Parking minimums are eliminated downtown and within a half a mile of DART rail and streetcar stations. We removed parking mandates for offices, retail, industrial, and bars, unless next to single-family homes. Tiered parking rules for multifamily housing, with no minimums for building with 20 units or fewer, reduced residential parking requirements citywide, and updated rules for loading zones and guest parking. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I've been talking about this for years. I've always believed that bars and parking lots don't mix. If you're driving to a place designed for drinking, something's already wrong there. And back in early 2024, I posted that we should rezone everything around train stations, half-mile walk. Not a big deal if you have infrastructure to support it. I even like arguing with council members publicly about stuff like this. When Cara Mendelsohn pushed back on some of my tweets saying people won't walk half a mile, I said, walking half a mile isn't a big deal. People would be willing to do so if we had the infrastructure. And I still stand by that. Let's talk impact. Parking requirements seem harmless, right? But they can add tens of thousands of dollars to the cost of building new housing. That makes it harder to build affordable homes or open small businesses, especially in older buildings. In a city like Dallas where walkability is already limited, overbuilt parking just makes things worse. More heat-retaining asphalt, less room for housing or greenery, a landscape that says cars belong here, people not so much. These reforms don't ban parking, they just stop forcing it. Developers can still include parking, obviously, if it fits, but now they don't have to. And obviously a lot of them still are. The assumption that every developer is just not going to build parking because it's cheaper isn't going to be the case. People still need to drive and park places, and the infrastructure is still going to be built for that, but now they at least have more options. So what happens now? For starters, this clears the path for more missing middle housing, duplexes, fourplexes, small apartment buildings, stuff we desperately need in Dallas. It also makes it easier to reuse old buildings that couldn't meet modern parking codes. That's great for neighborhoods like Oak Cliff, Fair Park, or parts of East Dallas, where charming old structures have been left to rot. And around DART stations, this is a big win for transit-oriented development. We've got stations surrounded by surface parking. This reform cracks the door open for actual walkable density. This wasn't an easy win. Some council members pushed back hard, especially Cara, who called the policy ideologically urbanistic and said suburban districts didn't want it, which calling districts inside of Dallas suburban, I already kind of have a problem with. But in the end of the day, this passed 14-1, and go figure, Cara was the one vote that went against this. Transit in Dallas is still very uneven, but this reform is a step towards making everything better. This win matters, but it's only one part of the picture. We still need zoning reform to allow small businesses near housing, better DART access across the city, land use reform that makes walkable, bikeable neighborhoods the norm, not the exception. And yes, we need to bulldoze some of the giant surface parking lots and build something better. I said that way back in 2023, and I mean it even more now. So yeah, this is a big win. It's one of the most pro-housing, pro-people, pro-future policies Dallas has passed in decades. Let's not stop here. I'm Adam. This is 15 Minute Dallas. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Lots of urbanists out there, lots of people talking about Dallas and the stuff that we passed here recently. We're excited. I know the community is excited. Let's build a better Dallas one block at a time. See you in the next video.